Hello. Today's episode 3 of the whatever this is series of stuff. So, started off. So we have the new leader of the Lime team. He just started existing, and he heard about this colony over here, and he said, that sounds interesting. Someone sent them a message to keep expanding everywhere. So the people got the message, and they were told to start expanding through all of the islands around them. But the orange team said, yeah, I may like the bean shape, but that doesn't mean you just get to steal all the land around me. So they buy this bit of land. And Lime gets the rest, but then they meet up with these nomads. And these nomads are actually pretty civilized. They just don't have enough land for farming. So they teach them farming. And people are like, that's a great idea. I never thought about that. Because everyone knows how to interact with other people. Obviously, yeah. Everyone knows how to politely interact with other civilizations. Which is very obvious. So anyways, Yellow team wants to expand more into the mountains, so they expand more into the mountains. And they go along this river. Instead of avoiding it, they actually go along the river now. And they meet up with a lake. They think, oh, that's the ocean. I mean, it is very salty. Obviously, that's the edge of the world. It must be some sort of interesting Gulf inlet thingy. They know what a lake is by now, but they didn't realize that lakes could be, there. Anyways, everyone's really big, but, again, really populated and stuff. Anyways, the red team decides that if they found the coast, the red team was going to find the other coast. But they already knew about this land up here, so they conquer this, and they say, we're going to walk all the way along the beach until we find it. And they start here, they get to there, and they're like, okay, that's boring. And then green team says, well, if you guys are expanding, then I want to expand. So they expand outwards. And they almost make it to the coast before red just happens to cut them off, and they say, oh, we found the coast over here. And green says, hey. And then yellow decides to join up with them. And then they say, wait, that wasn't the coast. That was just a little inlet. What if the one we found wasn't the coast? Oh no. What a horrible idea. So then they keep expanding up here along the coast. But yellows realize that it is way too difficult because, people, they don't like the cold, and this area is essentially Siberia. So they leave, and then the people up here in the red team say, hey, we want freedom, because why not? And the red team is like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's not like you guys have very valuable land anyways. So these guys are permitted to split apart from the reds. And it's not like the other country. These guys are actually just separate. Just a separate entity from the reds. Because the reds are sort of bored of science. But then a ton of other things which were definitely not permitted to go were like, hey, we want to leave as well. So they form their own union of things that don't want to be part of the Reds. All the people up here want their own country. So do the people over... Actually, no. And so do the people on these islands. But the Reds say, wait, what? We're not giving you your independence. You're way too close to our capital. And that color's already taken. Oops. You're way too close to our capital. We couldn't possibly let you go. But then they start invading the capital because they really want independence. Even though they're being treated fine. Now it's not about attention. They just want to exist. And Red says, no, you're not doing that. So they take back the coastline. But then the people on the islands are like, hey, we don't get any attention. This is a matter of attention. So then they are allowed to just exist. Then they realize, wait, but we want that entire sea. So then they attack the islands. And the island people say, hey, we're going. So they all sail down here and they end up crashing onto this island. And the island was already owned by the blue people. So they go to the blue people government and they say, hey, we've been driven from our homeland. Can we please have this island? And they say, yeah, I don't think it was very important. And they also say, hey, can we have the tip of this peninsula? And the blue people say, okay, yeah, I don't think it's very important. Little did they know that it wasn't very important. It's just not very valuable land. It does have a bit of a valuable position, but really it's not valuable land. Anyways, now the Greens are cut off, and they were like, oh darn, we're just gonna be angry. But now that the purple team is here, let's invade them. So we have an invasion of the purple guys. Wrong color. Invasion of the purple people. Oh, purple. This is the first ever invasion, I think. Sort of. Anyways, they conquered the very edge of the ocean. These people say, hey, we wanted that. The team says, yeah, I know, of course you did. It's a coastline. Also, this is a coastline, so. Then they begin invading the rest. They conquered this portion. Make a nice straightish-ish border with the yellow team. And they keep going down. Okay, I gotta stop saying team. The yellow people. But the purple country says, hey, we want this. Please let us have our freedom. And they say, okay, fine, we got what we want. We don't need all of this, I guess. Still want it, though. So they are permitted to exist by the green team. But the green team still got most of their land. Anyways, now it's time to draw capitals. And, yeah, capitals, yay. These people place their capital right on the coast. These people would place their capital there, but they can't, so instead they place their capital... Whoa. That's ours. Mine, potato, whatever. Anyways, they draw their little capital right there in the center of that island. And, yeah. Those are the new countries, because the other one... never mind. Whatever. Anyways, some adventurers, like explorers, go out onto this land, and they say, wait, that's just a massive lake, but it's salty for some reason, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. Let's continue, and they actually end up going south because it's warmer, narrowly avoiding the coastline. And then they end up meeting the coast all the way over there. Look how many people were on that expedition. And they say, whoa, that's where the coast is? So then they try exploring the rest of the land, and they realize, wait, we didn't have to go all that way. So they take all of the people there, and they move them into this new section of the colony that's actually good. And not, oh gosh, over there. And people over here say, hey, we're a colony, and it's pretty typical of the, and the other team says, yeah, fine, but you're still ours. So they only get just a slightly lighter yellow as their color. So they essentially just have a little bit of government because I don't want the countries to be too large. But otherwise, essentially, they're just the yellow team, but with a different color. The yellow country. Whatever, it doesn't matter. A team of people. And then they say, hey, also, there's this river here, can we have that? And I say, yeah, you can have the lake as well. And then they make some nice suburban areas around there instead of plopping their capital on it for some reason. You could have just put your capital there, but instead you just make some nice suburban stuff. Anyways, they actually end up putting their capital right there. Sort of interesting place for a capital to be. Anyways, the yellows are noticing how aggressive the yellow people have become. Green people have become. And they say, hey, light green team, people, potato, whatever. How about we team up on the green guys, and then we get rid of them all? And I say, oh yeah, good point. That's a great idea. So, they take this, and the green people don't notice at first, but then they notice, and they're like, what the heck are you doing? And they take all of their coastline, and the purple guys, they go up, and they take their coastline back, sort of. Like, yay, we're happy now. And then yellows go back, and the reds say, hey, why are you doing that? But I'm not taking part in this. This is madness. And the blues agree. But the normal blue, like the light blues agree. But these people say, hey, free land. So they travel along the river and then meet back. Now they're slightly uncentralized, but it's not like anyone was living there anyways. Sort of. Anyways, they look like that now. Also, they buy this. Or that was just theirs. I don't know. And the green people finally, well, they had noticed, but they're like, what the heck? So they begin attacking the yellows. So that's where their military is. And they don't notice the blue people, really. But then, light yellow says, hey, technically, all this land should totally be mine. So they quickly capture their capital. They go up the river, and now they can easily cross rivers, sort of. And they say, hey, we could make the country so much more centralized like you wanted it to be. You could have the perfect country, but no, you just say, oh, I'm going to be angry today. And then you be angry. So yeah, take that. You're ours now. And they say, what? No. And instead of keeping the Greens around, they actually just fail to exist, and this should not be here. What? Why is that there? Yeah, much better. Anyways, they make a deal, yellows and the light yellows. And on this layer, the capital is erased. Is it whatever? Yeah, erased. No more capital. They are very, very dead. Anyways, they make a deal to split the land between them. The blues get what they already have. These guys go up. Actually, the blues get a little bit less, but no one's living there, so well. Essentially, they just divide up the land. The land they had already captured is the land they had already captured. Blue team gets a bit less than they wanted. So that's fine, I guess. And the reds permit the blues to have a bit more of that land. Anyways, they go up. They take this little bit. They say, hey, those are some pretty ugly borders, but that's our land. Yeah. And the yellows say, hey, we got more mountains now. Yahoo. We sure love being rich. But we're still sort of angry at you, so we're taking all of this land. And a bit more. Because we're angry at you for having more coastline than us. And they say, hey, we don't even have that much coastline anymore. But the yellows are still pretty angry, so then they get angry at each other. And now they're angry at each other even more. They agree not to fight each other, but even more of the land goes to the blue people because they were too busy fighting, and the blue people said, hey, what if I just take all this land? Yeah, that sounds great. So they took all that land. They said, ha ha ha, we took all that land. They said, well, darn, we should have been paying attention. And then suddenly, everyone who was living out here just stops living out there because, it's not very good land anyways. They all moved back because they were prepared for war. They thought that a war was going to happen because of the aggressions that they had heard about. But no war. So now they're just back at home where they don't sort of want to be. And then a duel went on and the yellow guys win. Because they were still trying to solve their problem. And now, light green just has the capital areas of green, which they always wanted, but no extra land. They get to make sea colonies instead. Your colonies shall be across the sea, not on our great stretch of potato. Even though technically it's the same continent, it's like a different part of the continent. Anyways, yeah, that was what happened in these, like 150 years, I don't know, 200 years, something. And also, they discovered that there's actually some mountains here. So they're pretty interested in that because the ice trade. The end.